Hi, this is Destiny from Desfix and welcome back to another video in the hotel management system using Django. In this one, we'll get started working with adding reviews to the hotels. That is what we'll be doing. Hopefully you will enjoy the video and learn something new. So let's get started. Open up your code editor and you want to open up the views PY for the user dashboard. And for this one, we want to create a new view that will be called add review. So I'll say define add review, and this one should pretty much take requests. And now the ID that will be sent for us, or the data that will be sent for us from JavaScript, is what we need to get down here. First one will be the ID, followed by the rating, then the review, and also the hotel, I believe. So the ID of the hotel should be equal to request.get. We grab the ID. We need two more. We need the review, and we also need the rating. All right, so after passing these two things in, let's then fetch the hotel by saying hotel.object.get, where ID is equal to ID that was sent back to us. And we also need to check if a user has already made a review on the course. And if they have, what we'll pretty much do is just update the review. Or if they have, we could even say something like review already exists, okay? So review check should be review.object.filter by the user should be request.user and hotel should be hotel. So now what you want to say is if review check dot exists, then what do we want to do? You can return a JSON response back to the front end with your data or message, depending on what you want to call it. This one should say review already exists, okay? And also the icon should be some sort of warning or something. I think warning should be okay for this. Data should be this, so we don't have an issue. But what if that review does not exist? Then the best thing to do is to create the review, right? So review.object.create. User should be equal to request.user. Rating should be equal to rating. Review should be equal to review. Hotel should be equal to hotel. All right, so with all this now out of the way, you can then return a new message back to the front end saying something like review submitted. All right, so review submitted, icon should be success. Okay, so with all this now, what we pretty much want to do is open up the HTML for the hotel detail page and look for the share or the add review. This is it here. So can you see this add review here? I want you to hop over to the main template, then open up review snippet.md and take this code here and replace it with this one. So what this means is whenever you click on this add review, it should open up a modal that should allow you to add a review. Let's test this out. I will open up the premium hotel and click on the add review. But before I do that, just remove the href entirely. Okay, we need the href. When you click on add review, this is the nice little pop-up showing up over here. So now let's grab whatever gets typed into the message and whatever the rating over here is, okay? How do we do that? First and foremost, hopefully you already know how we usually grab informations from here. You can add in an ID, then use your JavaScript to hold onto that ID and grab the value. So the very first thing on our list is for the text area. And that one needs an ID called review input. Review input, that is number one. And we also need another ID for this one here. This one should be called review. Should it still be review input? Okay, let's go with review input too. Okay, so After grabbing the two review inputs, okay, my bad. This should be rating inputs. This one is review, where you type in. This one is the rating. Or you can still call it just rating and call this one just review. But to be dynamic, I want to call it rating and append inputs to it. So after we have that too, that is everything that we need. For the button, I want to create a new data attribute called hotel and pretty much pass in the hotel.id to it. And I also need to add in an ID called review BTN. So with all this out of the way, for the div holding the reviews, what can we, this is the add review button, right? This add review button. Make sure that there's an ID called add review button added to it. So after all this is done, open up your custom JS. But it seems like we didn't register that view that we wrote in the URLs. So let's register it. It's called add review. Add underscore review. Should be the same here. And also should be the same here. Now open up your custom JS and we pretty much need to write a simple function. Or you know what? Let's even do this in the hotel detail page. All the way at the bottom, just down here, I want to say $document document dot on click of what. So as soon as we click on a button called review-btn, what do we want to do? Let's create a new function that will perform an operation. So the first thing that I want to do is grab onto that button by saying this to hold on to the element. And now that element holds an attribute called hotel ID. Let's get that. I would say ID should be button.attribute, and the attribute was called data hotel that holds on to a value called hotel ID. And then let's grab the review. That should be review dash input. So dollar, then in brackets, we grab the review inputs. And also we do that the same thing for the rating inputs. Okay. So now that we have these two things, you could go ahead and console log. You could console log the ID, the review, and also the rating. So ID, review, rating. And let's test this out. I will have to reload my page to see what we have. Okay, now that my page is reloaded, you could click on the add review. Let's see. And I will type my message, nice hotel, and give my rating 4-star. And as soon as you click on those buttons, okay, we need to grab the value, guys. Grab.val. Please do not miss that. So if you don't pass in the .val, you won't be able to grab whatever that gets typed in here. So after passing the .val, reload your page again. And let's try adding a new review to this. So I'll say nice hotel and also choose a 4-star, the reply message. See, nice hotel, 4-star, and the ID is 2. So with all that out of the way, let's then send this to AJAX, which will be the last thing to do. I will say URL, and that should come over to dashboard. Please, it should be in a string. Please do not forget that. So dashboard/add_review. Before we send this, still the same operation as this one here. So you could just take that and put it down here. So before we save, let's console log something like adding review, and let's send the data. So I want to send the ID as the ID, and I also want to send review, and I also want to send rating. So if everything goes well, let's create a new success function. And let's grab the response from the back end. And you could even start off by console logging the response. But before we do that, let me grab this toast. So I set up the toast down here, and I pretty much want to fire res.data and also res.icon, the same thing. And after all that, I then want to grab onto the review. No, I want to grab onto the add review button, and I want to hide it. So there you go. And after all that, let's look for this in the hotel detail. In the hotel detail, we need to look for a place to add in. Let's look for the review div. So let me search for write a review. Can you see this div here that holds the review? Let's give it an ID of review underscore div. So review div. And then here in jQuery, what we simply want to say is grab onto that review div. So I hold onto that review div, and I want to update its HTML to say something like review submitted successfully. Review submitted successfully. Okay, you can say something like pending awaits or awaiting moderation or something like that. Okay, well, I think this is okay for me. Now let's get down here and reload this page and see what we have. So with all this that we have typed out, when you click on the add review and you say nice hotel and you're giving it a 4-star, all right, we seem to have a problem. 500 server error. It says review got an unexpected keyword HTOEL. Seems there is a problem. Oh, there you go. This should be called hotel, not HTOEL. So allow it to reload again, and let's send this one more time. See, review submitted successfully. Look at the toast at the background, and I believe that should have created the review for us here in the back end. Let's register the review model in the admin. So I'm registering the review, and we should allow our code to reload. And when we reload the admin, open the review, you can now see there is now a new review for nice hotel with a rating of 4-star. So that is pretty much it for the review, working perfectly well as expected. The last thing will be, if a user has added a review in the hotel, if you want, you could actually remove that button. See, the button is gone now, but if the page gets reloaded, you see that the button gets back, which means the user can add another review. So if you want a user to add multiple reviews, you can leave the button. If you don't want a user to add multiple reviews, you can actually still remove the button. And if you're interested in removing the button, if a user has added a review, this is how to do it. Open up the hotel views, and let's write a new conditional statement here. I would prefer we put this in a try catch and say reviews should be equal to reviews dot object dot filter by user should be request dot user, hotel should be hotel. So in the except, we also need to say reviews should be none. So we'll try to fetch this. If this doesn't exist, we'll pass review as none. Then what we simply want to then do is pass these in here. So take these reviews and put it in here, okay? And also let's fetch all the reviews that the system has. So I'll say all reviews should be equal to reviews dot, that should be review dot objects dot filter by hotel. Hotel should be equal to hotel. All right, then put all the reviews in there too. So with that out of the way, what you can now check is in the hotel detail, you can check, search for the place where we have the review buttons, which is this review button here. So what you can now check is if not review, which means the user does not have any review yet, then let's allow them to add a new review. As simple as that. That's pretty much it. So now if you reload this page, see, add review is still showing up over here. So what I pretty much want to confirm is the reviews should be reviewed objects of filter. This. So user is request.user. Can I see where we are adding the review? Yeah, I said user should be request.user. So a review now exists for premium hotel, right? And it's Desfix that added that review. And in the views hotel, for the hotel detail, we wrote this simple statement here that checks review the objects of filter. User is equal to review request. You know what we could even do? If you don't want to pass this in the try catch, if you don't want to pass this in the try catch, okay, hold on. Let me see. If not review, let me see. See, it was called reviews. That is the mistake. I knew something was wrong. So if not reviews, then we don't want to show that button. So let me see. Please fix the indentation. You know what? Let me try to actually call this reviews here to see what it gives back to us. So we know how to, oh, there you go. See, now it's working. Because reviews does not already exist. That means we are no longer showing that button to actually show the review. I hope this makes sense, guys. Now that we have all this, the only thing that is left is to then change up this review things over here. And also, I believe we should have this section for review. Then we could change up the section for review and we should be done. So let's start off by opening up the models for the hotel and look for the hotel model itself. And right now, we do not have the average rating for the hotel. So we need to actually create a new function to get the average rating and also the rating count down here. So define a new average underscore rating, and this should pretty much take in itself. And what I want to say here is average, that should be the same thing as this one, okay? So average underscore rating should be equal to review dot objects dot filter by hotel should be self. So filter all the review where the hotel is this particular hotel that we have here. That's by saying self. And also we want to aggregate. So aggregate. And now I will define a new variable called AVG rating. AVG rating, and pretty much set this to models dot. Then I need the average of all the ratings together. So return the average of all the ratings. And the value that we actually want to return should be average rating and then call the average rating. So remember, we usually say average rating dot this. If you don't want to explicitly call this in the templates, you could pretty much still return it this way. And let's also return the rating underscore count. This takes in self. Should still be the same as this, okay? You could just copy this, and over here you could return review the objects.filter dot count. So with these two things out of the way now, let's populate it. Let's populate it in here. For the 14 reviews, it should be hotel dot rating count, and for this one, it should be hotel dot average underscore rating over 5. All right, so let's try this out. Reload your page. Let's see what we have. Could not pass over 5 from this. Oh, my bad. It shouldn't be out there, but over here. It shouldn't be in the braces, but it should be out there. Okay. Now, based on the reviews that we have passed in, you can now see this is returning 4.0 over 5. If you want, you could even say 5.0 over here. But this hotel.rating needs to return the count of whatever it is. So when you reload, you can now see 1 review. So that is pretty much it. It's working as we expect. The only thing that we need to do now is check if the all reviews are coming in. So all reviews, the one that we wrote in the views. I don't know if you remember that. What did I even call it in the views? It was called all the reviews, which is this one here. Let's see. I just want to see if, oh, there you go. It's returned on the query set. That is all nice. Now you can remove it from there. It's not needed there. Then you want to scroll down all the way to this section here. I will scroll down all the way to that Francis button. Okay. Let me make sure that's where I'm at. All right, that's where I am currently. And if you want, you could remove. Let me see. I have 4.5. I want to remove this div down here. I have 4.5. So instead of 4.5, what you want to add in there is hotel.average rating out of 15 reviews. 15 should be hotel.rating_count. So with that now, if you reload your page, you should now see 4.0. Please count the reviews. Rating count.count. So 4.0 reviews out of, let me reload my page again. It seems there is a, oh, there you go. Should be rating count.count. I seem to have made a mistake here. So like that, then when you reload, you can now see that we have 4.0 reviews out of 1 reviews. So now let's change this up. I have all these Francis buttons showing up. Let me minimize all of them and just remove the others to stick with 1. And I want to write a for loop. For R in all underscore reviews. Then end this down here. Then let's start changing up all the informations. For the image, it should be r.user.profile.image.url. And for the name, Francis Button, it should be r.user.profile.full_name. And for the review itself, it should be r.review. And for the rating, it should be r.rating. All right, there you go. Now we get back here and we reload this page. Let's see what we have. There you go. See, 4 reviews, Michael Jeremy. This is the review date, which I think we still need to change from this to r.date. All right, so guys, I believe that is pretty much everything that we have. I'll remove this clear fix and make my code look better. So this is what I have now. The rating, the name of the person that made the review itself, and the date when the review was made, and the user's image. That is pretty much it, guys. Everything seems to be working well now for the reviews. You can also count the review here. So over here where it says reviews 08, you could say hotels.rating_count.count. So that is pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something new. In the next video, we'll get started working with something new, and I hope to see you there. Until then, mad love, peace out.